Welcome to the Green Wasp Removal YouTube channel. In this episode, we continue training and mentoring the Manchester University Wasp Team on July 10th, 2025, as we remove a very aggressive Baldfaced Hornets nest that was located very low in a tree, just a few feet off the ground, right at head height, but was very well hidden by the leaves. In this case, the tree was adjacent to a volleyball sandlot where a summer camp event was happening for children, and when some of the young campers walked under the tree, one had been stung right in the face, just above the eye. This could have been extremely dangerous if the child had had some type of venom allergy, but fortunately they did not. But we had to get this down immediately, so we used a technique that's called a net bag technique. The net bag is designed to close instantly at the top when you yank a cord, and so you can wrap it around the nest and immediately close off that bag, and it keeps the wasps contained. It works great in the field. The only downside is it causes a little bit more complexity when you're trying to freeze the wasps later for venom immunotherapy, and we'll show you what that process looks like. Once we had the nest contained, we used an insect net to collect the returning foragers that were out in the environment coming back at sundown. And after 3 or 4 nettings, we had all of those foragers collected, which reduced the threat in the sandlot area. So we'll take you through the entire netting process from where we capture them while they're flying, and then we bring them down to the ground and we put them into containers that we actually move inside the net. And through this technique, you can take batch after batch of netted insects and contain them in plastic containers or jars, whatever you have. And we did this with multiple foragers as they came back. And we'll show you the process of how we then would have to take them and knock them out. Each batch would be knocked out with CO2 gas. And this takes a little bit longer than when we collect them all into one vacuum device, but it works and it's functional. So we're going to show you the techniques that we use. Here we're just consolidating the 3 containers down into one that we can freeze. And the next step here is to put the net bag into a large plastic bag along with a CO2 gas, and that knocks out whatever active wasps are still inside the paper nest so that we can then separate the nest from the wasps that are in the bag. And that's important to do because if you try to do this without them being knocked out, it's just a lot trickier. It takes longer. The CO2 gas makes everything more efficient. So we just freeze those few wasps that were in the bag outside of the nest. We put them into dry ice along with the other batch that was netted with the insect net, and then we lay the nest itself down into the dry ice. And after a few minutes, anything inside that nest has been knocked out and chilled to the point where we can also separate the comb and the paper and look for any more hidden adult wasps that will be used for venom immunotherapy. Here a couple days later, the brood comb is incubated, and you can see here how some of the wasps are already chewing their way out of the silk caps, pupating out as adults. These are the ones we collect for venom immunotherapy over the next several days or weeks. The incubation process is actually great. It gives you another several dozen wasps to collect off of this nest as they all pupate out from their silk caps. We're also going to show you how some of these wasps that were pupating into adults came out of their silk caps with what appears to be symptoms of deformed wing virus, like you see here. Deformed wing virus is typically a honeybee disease, and it appears more and more likely that honeybees are the cause of a spillover effect in the ecosystem, where a lot of our native pollinators and wasps are starting to be affected by this honeybee disease. So we're going to have these bald-faced hornets tested in a lab to get a diagnosis on their virus and see if it is the same virus that is affecting honeybees. Another issue we're going to show you in the captive incubation environment are phorid flies, like you see here, these tiny flies that run in and out of the cells. They feed on waste in the nest, and they also feed on decaying dead larvae and that type of thing inside wasp nests. And we do wonder if these phorid flies are vectors for some of these diseases. So we might have some of those tested in the near future. For now, let's take you back to July 10th of 2025 when this job began, and we'll take you through the entire process. As always, we appreciate you being here and riding along with us. If you do enjoy the content on our channel and you find it entertaining or educational in any way at all, please do remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment to let us know you're there. Enjoy the show. July 10th, 2025. We're at the MU campus where we were just called in on an emergency job. It's about 9 p.m. at night. And here near their sports area where we have a sandlot for volleyball, and beyond that is tennis courts beyond the trees. They had an attack by Baldfaced Hornets today on one of their students who were here with a high school camp, and they ended up getting stung multiple times in the face by this nest. Very well hidden Baldfaced Hornet nest, low hanging in a tree. That's always dangerous because it's right at head height. And if you're in here kicking volleyballs around, making noise, having fun, you walk up and your head is right here. Your face is at their entry point and they just attack. So as you can see, they're right there. That's only 6-7 feet off the ground. So very dangerous. So we're gonna go ahead and take this one. They're already dive bombing me, as you can see, just by walking up next to them. So they're gonna be ornery. So what we're probably gonna do is just cut the branch and bag this one in a net bag to make it very quick. If we cut this branch right here, we should be able to get to it in one cut and stuff it right in the bag. I'm here with Katie from the Manchester University Wasp Team. She's gonna work the net bag, and I'm gonna cut the branch. So are you ready? Let's do it. Here's our girls. They are not happy about being in there, but we got them with no casualties. That was perfect. Good job. So now we're just going to gas them in the dry ice. So I'm going to put them into a bag, a plastic bag, so they, in case they chew their way out of here, we'll be safe in the vehicle. But that's great. Let's set them aside. Let's bring this back and we'll bag it. Watch your hands so they don't sting you through that net. That was perfect. Good job. Katie is now going to put this net bag inside the plastic bag and just try to keep it safe for vehicle transport. Now, if you can seal that all the way up tight, that'll be great. And if it won't seal tight, we'll just roll it and clip it. All right, and we're just going to take that whole thing and stick it right in the dry ice cooler. And just freeze the whole mess. That's the easiest thing to do with this one. We can see them easier if we go this way and look at the sky. So wait until you see a few and then swipe at them and bag them. There you go. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Good. Keep going. Keep it moving. Back and forth. Back and forth. Keep it moving a little quicker. You're getting a bunch of them. That way. Good. Keep going. Don't stop it at all. You got to keep it moving back and forth. Perfect. Just keep going, keep going, keep going, right around that nest area. All right, let's turn it once you get it moved. Let's step out and bag what we have, and then we'll get some more, okay? Good job. Look at that, all in one netting. Very well done. Now I'm gonna get a container, and we'll lift the container in and contain them all at once. So keep it right there for a sec. So what we're gonna do is just let them keep walking up top. Because we want them to keep coming up. Okay, so hang on right there.
I should double glove, I think.
Yeah. I'll take it from you in just a second here.
Yeah.
So this is what you do. You bring them right in here. And then you got them. Then you take your, see how they're contained?
Yeah.
All right, so you go from there and you take your cap. Turn it so to go up toward the right. Slow and easy. Patience. Patience is what this job is about. Okay, so we got them. There's our girls. First batch. Let's go get another one. Okay. All right, so we got the first batch of foragers netted. We're gonna do the same thing again now. So back it up here so we can see them in the sky. And look for them wherever you can get them. Just be quick with that net, going back and forth, not stopping it. There you go. Just keep going back and forth, slow and easy. Just fast enough to keep them in, but no faster, you know? Wherever you see them coming back, hit them again. Back up a little bit or go up or down in your eye lines because it's a little tough with the sky as it gets darker here, but the sky can still show you a good silhouette for them. I see one more over here. They're still kind of fighting these leaves, so hit around this area here, I'm thinking, a little bit. To the right of that low-hanging leaf. You got a few over here on this side. Just a couple right in there. Yep, there you go. All right, keep it moving. Almost there. One or two left, that's probably about it. You can turn it whenever you're ready. That'll help you. Let me know when you're ready. Good job. I don't see any more at the moment. Let's turn it. Got it? Excellent. Perfect. I got you. Put it right on the ground. Let's see if we can walk up. Kind of getting right on the steam there. Three outside the bin, but we got a bunch of them inside. So we're doing pretty good. Okay, looks good. That was a good job on the net. That was great. Okay, let me grab one more container and then we'll do one more netting and then we'll pick up. We're probably just about done because you did a great job on those so far. All right, we're just about losing light, but we'll try one more netting just in case there's any more. If you bash up those branches, they'll probably go flying. So I imagine there's a few camping out in there right now. There you go. Yeah, you're getting them. Good job. I think that looks pretty good. You got a couple of them in there, right? Okay, great. Let's turn it and split. Good job. Let's see what you got. Yeah, there you go. A few more right there. Cool. Let me get them in the container over here. There you go. So check this out. All of these were still out foraging, and so we did not get them in the initial bagging of the nest. But just a few minutes of netting, and we netted all the rest of them. So that's fantastic. Good job. And that is a wrap. Katie, great work. It looks to me like we got all the foragers by netting. So good job. So let's go home and get some rest. Thanks, Katie. So what we're going to do now is we're going to gas our Baldfaced Hornet foragers, all of these, and we're going to knock them out. And that makes it easier to get them contained and frozen. Okay, you see how they're knocked out? And the same with these. All these are unconscious now. They'll be awake in a few minutes. So it's important to do this quickly. All right. While they're out, let's put them all in one small container, and then we'll freeze them in the CO2 frozen dry ice. Now, if you look at these, they're just knocked out. They're unconscious. And with the air in the container, they'll come back real quick, like as you see them starting to move around already. So let's close this up. Put it right in the dry ice. I'll let them freeze. And then we're going to take our girls in the bag here. But as you can see, none of them have gotten out of this bag yet, fortunately. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to fill this bag with CO2 until they stop moving. Shaking them around a little bit just so the gas will evenly distribute throughout the bag. And get into the nest and knock them all out. I don't hear any more buzzing in the bag at all. Move the nest into the plastic bag. And all of these wasps so I'm going to put them in here. Get them contained. Yeah, they're starting to move just a little bit. Containers that have live wasps and the nest. You cover the whole thing in ice. So we just pulled these out of dry ice. So we're going to bag them up now. First, we're going to open up this nest and pull out the rest of the frozen wasps. This was a very active nest with a decent population, even though it's relatively early in the season. So any wasps that we find frozen in here, we're just dumping into this container. So I'm just going through the paper, make sure we don't miss any wasps. Here we have the incubated nest from the one we took out of the tree near the volleyball sandlot last night. It's being incubated now so that the pupae can hatch out. As you see here, there's one chewing its way out of its silk cap now. July 13th, 2025. We're taking a look at these newly pupated wasps. And if you notice, again, we have pretty severe deformed wing virus on at least one of them. The others don't seem affected. of the questions we have is, whatever this fly species is it transferring virus as it moves around inside these nests? Could this be a vector like mites are vectors for honeybees? So we're going to try to capture one of these flies and have it tested as well. But they appear to be phorid flies. You see the difference between the deformity and the normal way wings should look here. So we'll collect this one as a specimen also, and we will try to get it to the lab for a diagnosis. Here you can see how immediately after pupation, the wasps can find their sugar water container and drink. So bald-faced hornets, Dolichovespula maculata, they are very good in captivity. They just simply do what comes natural. They will seek out food. If they can't find it from larvae on the nest, they will come over here and drink from the dish. And this will sustain them for quite a while. So here we have some specimens of Dolichovespula maculata. This is bald-faced hornets that had deformed wing virus type symptoms. So we're going to send these to the lab. They're preserved in ethanol, and that seems to be the best way to preserve them. It's a little bit better than rubbing alcohol. You just put it into a plastic tube, seal it off. It's meant for liquid specimens. That's what this tube is for. So we're going to send it out to a lab and have it looked at and get a proper diagnosis on these wasps. And hopefully we can figure out whether or not it's deformed wing virus for sure, and which version of deformed wing virus it is. There's at least 3. They call them A, B, and C. And we'll be very curious to see which they have.